Well, hi everyone. Thank you so much for taking time to talk One Piece Red with me today.
Thank
No
you.
Yeah,
worries.
thanks for coming. I really like your background.
Me
Thank
too.
you. I had to get in the mood. Um, so Colleen, my daughter, texted me earlier today and she's like, "Did you know that you and Colleen have the same birthday?" And I was like, different year, but like same date. And I was like, "Oh my God, that's crazy." So I feel like, we're bonded.
I
Not to
love
mention all your other awesome voice work. So I'm like, oh God, yes.
we can be Aries together. I guess we're just bullheaded.
Yes, Team Aries. So, One Piece, like, a million episodes and 15 movies later, how does it feel to still get to be Luffy and tell his story after all these years?
I like insane luck. And that's largely what it was. I have 90% of this industry is just being in the right place at the right time, shaking the right hand on accident. So it feels like I was so lucky to have gotten to the company just right before that. And to have I did a boy voice for a show other than One Piece right before One Piece auditioned. So it was fresh in Mike's mind as a thing that could be a possibility, but I hadn't done before for a Funimation show. And then to have that just stroke of luck become this 16-year adventure is absolutely nuts. And I feel super lucky and more excited about it every manga chapter that comes out.
That's awesome. And it's still going. Like, you still
I
got like
know.
years, which is
Yes.
awesome.
And everything I hear just sounds more and more awesome. Like it just gets better and better, and he gets more and more amazing.
So, as a redhead who's always loved pirates, I was super excited that Shanks was finally gonna, well, kind of get his due. I was kind of hoping for more, I'm not gonna lie, but at least he got something.
Mhm.
So, Brandon, how did you feel when they told you, "Oh, hey, we're finally gonna spend some time on Shanks' story"?
That it's pretty bananas actually, because the first time that I voiced Red-haired Shanks was so many years ago, and I pop in basically for 2 sessions every other year or something. Uh, and so it was sort of wild uh, to hear about this. I don't know that I heard about it from Crunchyroll first. I think I heard about it just kind of through the grapevine. I was like, "Oh, this is." I think I found out about it just kind of keeping abreast of One Piece stuff. And I was so excited. It felt like I don't know, like like uh being reunited with like a your long lost college buddy or something. You haven't seen him in 10 years. You can sort of pick up right where you left off. And I was really really excited that we got a chance to get into his sort of it's like kind of personal life. Like this is like meaningful sort of heart space stuff to him, not just I'm going to be the greatest, most mysterious pirate. You know what I mean? That's so much of Shanks is just kind of like being mysterious. And here, I get to wear a little bit of my feelings on my sleeve. Which I think was a really really refreshing way to get to approach Shanks this time.
Definitely. And I feel like it kind of hinted at more.
Oh yeah,
So, kind of
oh
like
yeah.
fingers crossed that that means we're going to get more.
Absolutely. Yeah. I always knew, like, I guess in the back of my mind that Shanks had the possibility of being this sort of like bookend character for obviously the star of the show, Monkey D. Luffy. Um, because his legend looms so large in the show. People talk about him more than he's actually on screen. And he's in like the first couple of episodes. I always imagined that he would be as important in the last couple of episodes too, but maybe that's just me doing wishful thinking.
I mean, I'm
I
here
believe
for it. It's kind of like Gandalf, right? In Lord of the Rings. It's like it's
Yeah,
about Frodo, but everybody's like, oh man, but Gandalf's super cool. Like, I want to see him.
yeah. Shanks never arrives too early or too late. Shanks arrives precisely when he means to, or something like that.
And his brain is addled by the halfling leaf.
There we go.
So, Matthew, can you talk a little bit about Law in the movie?
Yes, Law. It's interesting. He has so many long running machinations, like these extensive plots, all in some way, shape, or form leading to his, wanted revenge, or at least some very well thought out circumstance that he's laid all the groundwork for. And then the Straw Hats come in and wreck it marvelously. And this is a unique example where he kind of is there to support the fandom of some of his crew, and is playing kind of like the adult chaperone along the way, while also getting involved in some of the business as well. So it was interesting to kind of play that kind of that parent begrudgingly dragged into a circumstance that he wasn't intending to, which I think was a fun facet of both kind of a subversively paternal side of him, which you often see him as a loner, but you get a kind of a little glimpse of his love for his crew and the people he works with in spite of that. And just, being one of a handful of minds of leadership that all continuously vie for making the decision of how to move forward. And then eventually Luffy just does this thing anyway and ends up being the right decision. And we all just go begrudgingly, yeah, okay, I guess that worked out fine. So it was fun to kind of play with some of those shades in there. And more than anything, just happy to be there and support these larger than life characters.
So I'm not really going to try to talk canon versus non-canon, because we all know how the fans love to debate that one.
Yeah.
But I'm curious how you feel your characters may be affected by the events of this movie going forward.
That's a good question.
I think Law is going to be dragged to less concerts. Yeah.
He's all concert out, huh?
Yeah, he's like, I'll just stick to Spotify.
It's interesting. This movie I don't know that it changes the trajectory for Luffy at all. This isn't a new character. He's met this character before. He grew up with her. So it's not introducing a new personality. It's just touching base with those he already knew. And even with Shanks, like, he didn't get the culmination of what he needs from Shanks yet. So I know there has to be more. There has to be that next meeting with Shanks. So I guess I would say it doesn't really change his trajectory so much as it opens up a window and lets us see where he is.
I think so too. Like, it's a great way to put it. Like, there's like an increase, maybe an involvement from Shanks, but it doesn't. He's already on a pretty strong path, right? And this isn't going to derail it. But what I think might happen, we touched on this a little bit earlier, is that there'll just be more opportunities for Shanks to be involved, right?
I do kind of like. Sorry, I'm interrupting you, but I'm with you.
Yeah.
I kind of like that Shanks is getting to see where Luffy is, like, as a parent figure. Yeah. It's kind of nice for Luffy to be able to show him, like, I wasn't even a pirate back when I knew you before. Look how far I've gotten. But we don't really get too much of a window in there.
No, that was something that was really interesting, even just recording this. This is a little bit off topic. I don't think this is bad or anything. But before this, I was recording like some flashback episodes from the very, very first time that they met. And it really did, like, it landed on me how I do get to see him in such a different context, like, I'm going to be the strongest ever, that was a terrible impersonation of you, but whatever, and then, like, you get to see him in this movie and it's like, I mean, you're doing it.
Guess you're a pirate.
And now you're doing it. So good work.
Yeah, I love that it was kind of like a check-in, but like from afar. Like, he's peeking through the classroom like door, but he's not going in yet.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They're gonna string out that meeting like so much longer. I just feel it.
But you couldn't give it away.
Not yet.
That was too powerful of a moment to give away that easily, I think.
That's true. So you three are part of some major anime franchises outside of One Piece, including some of my favorites. But what do you think it is about One Piece that resonates most with fans?
There's an unbridled imagination to it.
Yeah.
That is appealing to anyone. There's that kind of unrestrained fantasy, I think, that it has stakes and it has heart, but it never gets mired in being mopey or morbid, right? It's a violent and cruel world, but there's also genuine joy and wonder in it. And I think that is something that people always need. Like, no matter how much the media landscape changes, and it does change a lot. We're in an age where there's an explosion of media, and there's there's content for every niche. But this kind of expansive imagination with a real heart will always have a place in people's sort of media menu, I think.
Yeah.
Especially with the breadth that it has. I mean, it's the difference between picking up a novella and then reading a 15 novel series. You get invested. You have the chance to see the characters grow and change, and to start to feel like you know them as a friend or an enemy, and you know how they're going to react to something, which means that you automatically you get 2 moments of joy. Before you know them, you would have just gotten the joy of that reaction, but when you know them, you get the joy of going, oh, I know how they're going to react. And then you get the joy of the reaction. And that's just something that you can't have with everything, but with something that has this kind of breadth to it, you really get to feel like you're a part of them, part of the crew.
Yeah, it's rare that a project strikes a continuous balance between heartfelt, playful fun, irreverent and epic, and is able to maintain that consistently for 20 plus years over hundreds and hundreds of episodes, and continue to expand its world building and, continue to surprise you. And that is a testament to what One Piece is as a series and why it's so beloved. And after all this time, continues to grow in its relevance, and it's the generations of other creators and storytellers that are inspired by what it's doing. How many now professional manga artists and writers have come up in the industry who grew up on One Piece, and that's what got them in their industry to tell their stories, and to have this still going alongside them, like, that's such a rare thing. And so for any of us to be a part of that engine, that storytelling engine, is a huge honor. It's a lot of fun.
Well, thank you all so much. That's my time with you. I appreciate it. I'm excited for everybody to see the movie. I loved it. I'm going to watch it again tonight.
Yay.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
and I look forward to seeing the rest of the adventures that are coming in the next however many years they want to keep going.
Another 20 years.
Getting out of our motor beds going, hey, it's another session to record.
Exactly. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.